all around me. Come on into the live stream of Soul Fulfilling. Boy, this piano sounds loud to me. Hey, that might be better. Welcome to Soul Fulfilling. Come on in, Margaret. Margaret, you're the first one. Hey. Come on in, Shani. Marion. Lewis, not Brown. Marion Lewis. Come on in and love in a holy, holy way. We're going to be talking and sharing our heart this evening. Oh boy, my alarm on my new phone worked to let me know you are on. Let me know, hey, oh, let me know that love is all around me. Let me know that love is all around me. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy way. Hey, Joanne, that's my friend. Oh, let me share the good that's overflowing. Let me share the good that's overflowing. Let me care for those around the world. Let me care for those around the world. And oh, let my steps reveal the path of peace. Let my steps reveal the path of peace. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven. I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing heaven today. Hey, Sharon, Chef Lori, y'all better come on into the room. What are you choosing? I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing love, I'm choosing peace, I'm choosing compassion. I'm choosing sharing. I'm choosing to care. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing heaven today. Yes. Choosing heaven sets me up for a good life. Choosing heaven sets me up to meet great people. Choosing heaven sets me up to have great co-hosts with me this evening. And I have my co-host this evening who has his co-host. So we it's like a tri-host. It's like a quadra-host because when you count Sue. We got all these people up in here. We got the great Quinn Fontaine joining me this evening with his mother, Miss Nancy, and they're going to come into the thread right now. And I want you to meet some lovely people. Yeah, they're coming in as everybody else is coming in. So, you know, folks are coming in. How you doing, Miss Nancy?
Doing fine. Happy to be here.
Hey, happy to have you. You're looking great.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hi, Quinn.
Look at this. I can't stop smiling. I had 2 Sundays in a row with you live in LA, and then to be at your house with you in Georgia. I haven't stopped smiling.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, we're smiling too, and as we welcome Maxine and Tawana Hampton and everybody, just come on in the room because we have a great and a very rich conversation tonight. And the reason why I know it's going to be good is because I have um, a little brother here with me with Quinn, who I don't know, we look like we shot from the same cannon. Like he really he's real, and he's wonderful. And like everybody in the thread, that's why y'all here, because y'all really are wonderful. And he's honest and transparent, and that's a beautiful thing. There are a lot of things that could distract us in the world, and it's really wonderful when we can focus on what's really real. So welcome into Soul Fulfilling, the two of you, because Miss Nancy, you know what, I'm a mom and I have a brilliant daughter and son, and so I know what it's like when they're smarter than we are.
Granddaughter too.
She's smart.
Shout out to Raven. She's going to be on here too. So
Raven is going to be here tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, great. I hope so. Hope she jumps on into the conversation. Hi, Christy. She's coming in from Oregon. So we have people from all over the country that are on already. So everybody just keep on loading in. And 6 o'clock Pacific time is an interesting slot because a lot of people are just getting home from running around and doing what they do. But we are going to go on with our conversation, and they'll get in. They'll fit. What they say, they'll get in where they fit in. I want to talk about this movie, and I was about to start talking about it earlier. There's a movie that was done by a friend of mine named Vishnu Vasu, and I know him as Krishna also. But I think at a certain level or certain progression or maybe a certain awareness, there's a name change that happens there. He's from Sri Lanka, and he's really quite an amazing person. And I met him years ago at one of the synthesis dialogues with His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and he played percussion with me. I needed a beat. He gave me one. But he was brilliant. Krishna is brilliant. But at the time, I didn't know that he was like a filmmaker, and but he is a filmmaker and a very good one. So he has a film, and if you guys scroll up to the top, you can copy that link. I have it here at the top, right there, where it says it's right at the top where it says Rickie Byars. That link will get you to the YouTube movie, so that you can see this. It's 25 minutes, but it's about the Civil War in. It's about love. It's not about the war. It's about love, and it's about a dancer, and that's why I think, Quinn, you're going to really love it. It's about a dancer, and I don't want to tell you the whole story about it, but I want to tell you about these quotes that I got, which is what we want to talk about this evening. Okay. So yes. The quote says that in the end, only three things matter: how much you loved, how gently you lived, and how gracefully you let go of things not meant for you. Say that again.
Yes, please.
In the end, and this is from the Buddha, in the end, only three things matter: how much you loved, how gently you lived, and how gracefully you let go of things not meant for you.
Someone's tender over here. Aw. You having a big reaction to that? Yeah, that's beautiful.
Miss Nancy, what comes up for you with that?
Maybe all the children that I have touched through my teaching.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she taught
about 31 years, and I've met lots of my students on Facebook, and some of them come by when they're in town, and a couple have taken me out to lunch while Quinn was gone. That was sweet. And I've tried to be loving all my life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Always say things in the right way. No.
Yeah. Well, you have a gentle way, even though Quinn talks about you. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
See that face? No,
Did you see that face? She said, "What'd you talk about, boy?"
Mom has loved me through everything. It's a miracle. I mean, she's my number one fan now. But
Yes.
I've been part of her soul growth and challenges.
Yeah.
So it's been major.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's turning in the chair like she's getting ready to leave. Are you going somewhere?
She's like, "Well, it's been fresh and real. It's time for me to get out."
Romeo is here, my pup.
Yes.
And I'm making him comfortable.
Okay. And I'm making I'm making me and you comfortable. There's a lot of touching happening.
Well, we can't see you. You got a little dog there.
Yes. This
Let's
is
see.
her. That's Romeo.
Oh, hey, Romeo.
That's Romeo. He's 11 and deaf and amazing.
Oh, wow. So he can feel your love.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can feel your love. So the three things that matter: how much you loved, how gently you lived, and how gracefully you let go of things not meant for you. And but that movie that's the quote at the end. The movie is about a dancer and his place, what was his to do in the face of a war that was devastating his country. And he danced. He danced.
He moved
So
in. Yes.
he danced. And but his family met with so much sadness. And so the way the story is told is beautiful. It's like and Krishna, I saw that he said that this is his last movie, that he won't be making any more movies. And that made me sad. Well, I'll put it this way, that made me feel a certain kind of way. Because when he hit, now the movie that he just did is just, all of his movies have been good, but this is a great movie. And maybe you reach a pinnacle, maybe you reach a point in life where you go like, I've done it.
Yeah.
So maybe it's time for me to do something else now.
Yeah. Maybe something else is calling him.
Maybe I'm done, I'm done making movies. Maybe it's time for me to lead meditation over here, or to do some other things to help people. And he's always helping people with his films, but it takes a lot to make a film too. It takes a lot. You got a crowd, and it's a crowd-funded film. But when you've done something for so long, and then all of a sudden you don't want, you it's like it's not time. You feel like, maybe it's time for me to do something else.
Yeah, pivot.
Yeah.
I just got to say, the lighting on you, Rickie, is divine. It's like angelic coming in.
It's rainbow.
Yeah, beautiful. You see
Thank you.
Rainbows.
You're like, special effects. I ordered that.
Hey, my special effects kit is paying off. But you do a very powerful work in the world, Quinn. In terms of guiding and mentoring people and bringing them to the center of who they are. And was there a time when you didn't? There was a time when you did something else.
Did a lot of other things to run away from self.
Mm-hmm,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you were implying?
No, I was implying that. Well, I'm asking, was there a time when you were doing something besides the work that you're doing, the therapeutic and the recovery work that you do? Were you always doing that?
No, I was doing a lot of odd jobs and doing, doing some stand-up, sketch and improv, a lot of odd jobs, catering and whatnot. Pretty lost, really, to be honest, really lost. Mm-hmm. And chasing fame. I was in LA for 10 years. Mm-hmm. I lived in 13 places. Wow. Because I was running from me. Mm-hmm. I didn't know it at the time, but it was like, oh, enough of this neighborhood, enough of this girlfriend, enough of this area. But no, I was trying to get away from me. And there is an actual book title called Wherever You Go, There You Are. I don't know the author, but it's a great book because it's true. Yeah. And it's called Doing a Geographic. For those of us in recovery, we know that language. And it's true for any human that's just trying to run from self. Mm-hmm. And, I left LA a little over 17 years ago to go to treatment in Santa Fe. And had a phenomenal journey. I've got 17 years off crack cocaine. I was a chronic relapser on pills, pot, and alcohol. I've cleaned all that up. look at her. And now I'm coming up on 3 years. Thanksgiving will be 3 years off of everything else. And my message is it's never too late to pivot, to get back to essence, to begin again, to begin again.
Yeah.
So this trip to LA, a lot of people know, and if new people might not know, but I was just in LA for a solo 9-day retreat for myself at Malibu at the beach, where I could push all the furniture aside and dance. And I'm not a dancer. I'm not a classically trained dancer, but I'm a dancer. I think dance is one of the most primal expressions to move energy and get things out. I can dance and cry, dance and laugh, dance and be thanking God. I can dance and be moved to back to primal, back to my primal expression. And that's why I always create through movement. And but I want to say this. So this was unexpected, Rickie. I planned my trip so I could have 2 Sundays with you, right? I'm at the beach, everything else. And I didn't overbook. It was one of the first trips I didn't overbook seeing people, because I lived there for 10 years. I know a lot of people. And this was the most unexpected self-forgiveness tour. Not only did I land in my body temple more and more as a trans man, I'm eight and a half years into my transition, female to male. But I forgave all that I did when I was in LA. I forgave myself for the acting out, the drugs, the not knowing how to have honest conversations, the running. You know, I was a runner. I didn't know how to talk to people, so I'd run literally. And I just drove around. It wasn't conscious, like, oh, I'm going to go right around LA and forgive myself at all the hot spots. No, it just organically was like I left your house that Friday and I drove through West Hollywood. I'm like, wow. And these weren't like these weren't big emotions like rage or upset or disgust or sadness. It was a middle of the line, if you will, a middle line. Wow. And not blown away by it, but like, okay. I drove past the Ramada Inn on West Hollywood. Yeah. On Santa Monica. And Mom put me up there for 2 weeks, paid for me to be in that hotel because I couldn't put the crack pipe down to get to treatment. And I looked at that and I'm like, oh, that's where I would eat in this little restaurant and they would do vouchers. My mom paid for that. My mom helped me do all that. Right. So, wow. Yeah. To make peace with all of it. Because I am none of that. No. I was there, but that's not my essence. That was me, a traumatized little biscuit doing the best I could.
Yeah. Well, look at you now.
Thank you. I mean,
look at you now. And here's a shout out to our families who, because in my description of you, I called you a cultural creative. And many of us are that. Miss Nancy is that. Sue's that. We're very creative beings, and a lot of times when you are creative, you don't fit the mold. It's like they go like, you're supposed to, you go to high school, then you go to college, then you get a job, and then you work, and then you retire, and then you take care of your parents if they're still with you, and then you hope that somebody takes care of you, or you get married. There's all these different roles, these different ideas, these different thoughts of how we are to be in our family, in our community, in our body, in our bodies, but in the people on this thread, we're some different kind of people. I mean, we're creative. We do all kinds of things, and a lot of times when you are creative, it's not enough to just hear about something. You want to go and experience it. You want to go to New York and find Stevie Wonder and get your record deal. You don't want to just stay in Atlanta and wait for him to get back to you. But you want to, you got gifts. You want to be known sometimes. You want people to be able to feel what you do, especially when you're young. You're younger.
Nancy raised 2 of us. It's me and my sister Susan. And you'll meet her someday. You've met her, I think, way in the past at a Revelation conference. But we were both voted in high school nonconformists, right?
See what I'm saying? See?
But check it out. Susan was pushing. She might be on here listening. Susan, shout out to you. She wore black lipstick and was goth before it was a thing. Yeah. Punk in the microwave. And then she pushed a shopping cart to school with her books in it and locked it to the bike rack.
This is your sister.
This is my sister. And the guidance counselor called Mom and said, we're not sure if Susan's okay. She has a shopping cart.
And I said,
this is 1984.
Wow.
And I said, that gets her to school. I wouldn't let it go.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, having a mom like you that understood.
Well, she hooked it to the bike rack, and they were
Yeah.
getting upset.
And they obviously thought it was major psychological. It was just our random way of doing everything.
Well, she was a punker. You know what I mean? She was a punk rocker.
Yes,
I mean, Georgia is too. Georgia still is punk funk. I mean, she dyed her hair pink and all kinds of things. But she was so beautiful. She was just working through a lot of things, and I just wanted to see her happy. But I think there is something to be said about knowing how to hold our families without trying to mold them. It's like you got to hold them and love our children when they're younger and give them our best, and keep harm as best, do our best to protect them. And sometimes, in spite of what it is we try to do, they get hurt. But all of that becomes part of our learning. It becomes part of our journey. But you said something about a beginning again. It's like, and we learn how to begin again. We learn that we're not the auditions. We're not the
we're not
marriage.
the
The
drama.
marriage. We're not
We're
like
not.
that. The movie that of Vishnu's movie has a beautiful. Let me see if I can find it right now. It's not showing, but it showed. Just turn right. But it's not showing anymore. So I guess that's the spirit's way of saying, like, just be where you are. But it just says that we're not the eyes, we're not the nose, we're not all of the things that appear. We are more than that. And but we have all of these things so that we can celebrate, that we can love, that we can behold the beauty in each other. People in my neighborhood, they really are into you're not, they're going like, you don't exist. They don't even look at you. They don't say hello. They walk past you like they don't see you. And I have to go like, hello, how you doing?
Yeah.
Just to let them know that I exist, that we exist together,
Keyword we. Yes.
that we exist
Yes.
together.
Yes.
One
of my favorite, Rickie, one of my favorite little things I've gotten from recovery, a little saying is, there's an I in illness and a we in wellness.
Oh,
Because the minute we isolate or think I'm too much, I don't want to be a burden, our worlds get tiny. But the minute we say, I need other people, I need community, right? I need to know I can do this. I don't have to do this alone. There's so much magic in that. There's so much power, authentic power.
I love that.
Yeah.
Like this morning when I rose, I didn't have no doubt. Let me give a little song, and then I'm gonna tell you what happened this morning when I rose, y'all.
Yeah, and then we'll check in with some tenderness, because I'm feeling more tenderness here.
All right, well, tenderness is good. Tenderoni, we did tenderoni. This morning when I rose, I didn't have no doubt. Oh, this morning when I rose, I didn't have no doubt. Oh, this morning when I rose, I didn't have no doubt. Because the Lord will take care of me. Because the Lord will provide for me. Because the Lord leads and guides me all the way, all the way. Oh, this morning when I got up, I didn't have no doubt. Oh, this morning when I got up, I didn't have no doubt. I knew God had me. This morning when I got up, I didn't have no doubt. Because the Lord will take care of me. Hey, will provide for me. Oh, it leads and guides me all the way, yes, all the way. So when I got up this morning, I gave thanks. I stretched my body. I didn't do a lot of exercise. I just kind of stretched my body, but I didn't know quite what I was going to do. Like I have a song that says, don't go there again, taking out the trash again and doing all these things. Just The Spirit is saying, be here for me. Be, be, be. So we're in the be hood tonight, and we're talking about being better together. So I'm just sharing you something that I do it this morning, and maybe we can hear from others about what you did this morning. Okay, when you woke up. But when I woke up, I didn't quite know. I was in a zone. I was like, I'm in a place. I was in a different phase of life. Excuse me. I didn't have dogs anymore, so it wasn't time to walk the dogs. You know, I didn't have young children anymore, so it wasn't time to get them to school. I wasn't a daughter anymore, so it wasn't time for me to take care of my mom and make sure she was good. I wasn't a wife anymore, so it wasn't time to do that part. Nancy's covering her mouth like, uh-oh. But what I'm saying, I didn't have to fix breakfast. You know, there was no duty. What you talking about, Nancy?
She almost spit up water.
But you know, it was me. It was time to be. And you know what I did? You know what I elected to do? Because quite honestly, I didn't know what to do. I had a moment where I had nothing to do. I didn't look at my to-do list. I had things that I needed to do today. I needed to do my smog check. I needed to, pay some bills. I needed to do some things. But in that second, it was just like I was in the zone of what is mine to do right now. And what I did was I put on B radio. I put on B radio. And the most fantastic music was happening there. And I remembered the music, And so what was playing was this song called It's Eternal. It's everlasting. God's love endureth forever and always. Earth and heaven, my soul bears witness to what created all for love in the highest. Greater than 1,000 sunsets, the universe just flows. The universe just flows with the way that God goes. But God knows it is done. And this music listen, this is a hard song. So a lot of times the band made a lot of mistakes on this song. That meant I had the ugly face a lot of time, right? This morning, the band was stellar because this was the last performance of it. All those years of not doing it, when we did it again, I was like, we got to do this right. I edited out the parts that went on and on and on. I said, no, we don't need all of that. Let's just keep it here, right? You talking about a moment this morning, the band is like, it is eternal. Yeah, I mean, the singers were great. The choir was, and it was just like, I was dancing. I was moving my body. So it is eternal. So very wonderful. Like that vibration was just so high. It was so high. And check this out. At the end, the MC of the day, who was the minister, Michael said he announced the name of the band, and the band was David Odom. David Odom passed last week. David Odom, Rob McDonald, David Neal, Idris Hester, who was that? Mitch Foreman, and who else was in that band? Darlene Dixon and Tawana Boyd, Rashid Lani. That was the band. It was an excellent band. They had all the right moves. It was something. And already I'm rejoicing because I remember. It was like I was having a moment and I was moving my body, man. I was dancing. I was hitting it. So that was good for my heart. It was good for my joints. It was good for my breathing. And then after that, the B Hood came up and Naila Porter was singing Take a Little Time with God. And we were killing. It was just good. It was just good. And then One with the One. I'm singing One with the One. That song, wandering around, wondering why. That one. I hit the glass with so much speed. What was I doing that I didn't see the glass? I was moving way too fast. I was moving way too fast.
like I was standing still. So I tried to gain some speed with my mind and with my will. I wanted to feel something moving in me, moving like the fishes in the sea, rushing to get it done, wanting to be one with the real vibration, sweet liberation, rushing to get it done, wanting to be one with the one. And I'm listening to this. I mean, and the singers behind me, Ray Davis, Diva Gray, I mean, they were singing. And it was just, everything was just very good. You know, everything was just very good. And I realized that, you know, it's a different time. I'm not doing those songs anymore like that in a program, except in concert. Gonna be doing it in Atlanta on the 21st and San Jose on the 23rd with Rob McDonald. That's gonna be so hot. But in my life, you know, it's like it's another time. And this morning I got to behold through this repository of great music what I helped to build. And you know, and I listened to it for a while, and then I got off and began to go on with my day. But it was like a spiritual practice. You know, something had happened, Quinn. Sue, something had happened. You know, something had happened. It's like I didn't know what I woke. I went from what am I going to do? What am I doing? It's like, hey, I'm listening to B radio.
Well, I just find that dancing, especially in the morning, helps me move energy and land. Right. But I love that you talked about rushing, because I can. There were times I'd wake up wide awake at 3 a.m. and my inner negative self-talk is going, "You're late." I'm like, I'm not late. I don't work at Dunkin' Donuts or have a dairy farm. But that brain was that negative self-talk was always lambasting. Mm-hmm. Learn to talk back to it and say it's not true. But I'll catch myself now, even at times that I'm rushing and I don't need to, and I'll literally slow down my body and slow down my steps, and I'll say, "Thank you, thank you, thank you," and land and thank Mother Earth for holding me, and just slow down.
Yeah. Miss Nancy, when you wake up, do you have something, you have a regular thing you do, or are you wild like us?
No, I'm not wild. I was wild when I was working. Now I'm on R&R.
So you're on rest and relaxation.
You can do it. You can sleep in if you want to. You don't have to be doing something, but I often watch television and I'm doing something like making cards, or I don't read.
She makes homemade cards that are really quite wonderful.
You make homemade cards? Can we buy those, or you make them?
No, I don't. Too much work.
You'll get one. She'll send you one. She just loves to share her art. It's
too much work. It's like Raggedy Ann and Raggedy Ann dolls.
Yeah.
Ann and Andy. I used to make those, but not for money. It's too much work.
You do it for love.
I do it for love. You can't.
That's beautiful, though. I mean, that's the real reason, though.
Yeah, and then making cards. People don't get good mail anymore. So my friends enjoy opening a mailbox and there's something from Nancy.
Oh yeah, I get good mail. Hey, Miss Nancy, I get good mail.
I bet you do.
I get some good mail. I get good mail. Yes, to making cards, love them, and dancing is fire. So if you start your day by moving your body, put the fires up. Let's show us how you start. If you start your day by moving your body, just put it in. Just tell us how you start your day. Yeah, you know.
Rickie, I invited some people to surprise Mom. So she's like, that's why she keeps pointing at the screen, because she's so surprised by some of these are former colleagues, former students, other friends. So yeah.
Is Melanie one of those?
Melanie, she used to teach with Melanie. Yeah.
Hi, Melanie.
Well, with regard to what you read at the top of the show, the 3 things. Could you read them again, just so we could land again with that? I love that so much.
It says, in the end, and by the way, there's a part of this that reminds me of I'm Ready to Listen Now. Because, you know, there's a part in I'm Ready to Listen that says, one day the pain goes, and one day we see that what really matters in life or in dreams is is the music of love we hear in each scene, you know. And I think that's what I was doing this morning too, was hearing the love that was in that vibration of the music ministry at Agape. And it was just feeding my heart because it still lives. It still lives. Anything great that ever happened still lives it still lives in us. So this says, in the end, only three things matter: how much you loved, how gently you lived, and how gracefully you let go of things not meant for you. How gracefully you let go, and I tried to be graceful, but I'm sure some people thought that, because when you're a public person, people see everything you do. And when you talk like me, you get in trouble all that, but the thing is like, I did my best, and
There's some people on the thread that don't know, you were in a high profile marriage in a spiritual center, big, huge community. And there was a shift, and I don't know how you want to share that, but just
you're sharing it pretty good.
Well, I don't want to overstep, but what I said the other day is so true. You walk the talk. You walk the talk. You never sold out, never got corporate or glossy. You're the soul. You've always been the soul and the heart, and you were that of Agape, and that's why, there's no reason. I mean, it's so obvious that I had to find you. I'm like, I go to LA. I'm like, where's Rickie? I'm going to find you. Because, and I've said this before, and I'll say it for anybody who hasn't heard me say this, Rickie Byars and her music, her ministry, her truth telling, they are major reasons why I'm still on this planet. I've dealt with suicidal ideation since the age of 11. Mom has been a part of my healing. Talk about love. Mom has had to open her heart and be able to hear all of this and hold space for all of this and the trauma and everything else. And we've been healing through it, as a family. My family of origin is so tight. And I was able to forgive my dad before he died, and my sister did too. And he messed with us as little people, and Mom didn't catch it because she couldn't. He moved us all the time. We moved eight times before I was 6 years old. So that so that Mom's like would never know a baseline on the two kids. And if we were upset, he could blame it on the move. And so the deep or her. And so the deep just forgiveness for all of us and opening has been profound.
Yeah. And you can heal. I mean, we can heal. That's the thing, is like, because something went awry, something went totally horrible, doesn't mean we can't heal. We can heal, but it takes honesty to heal. You have to tell the truth to heal. You have to face the truth inside to heal,
And so because I've always lived my life pretty out loud, and Mom has held space for all of it. The journey's been intense. A recovering addict, alcoholic, all of it, the trauma survivor, now thriver, and transgender, So because I live out loud, people know, and then people can come to Mom and get support. So her friends have been able to go to her for support with stuff happening in her family. So it's been an interesting rippling out. And so I just want to say publicly to my mom, thanks for being a love, and even though it's been tricky a lot.
Well, life is slippery, but that's what our breath is for, so that we can breathe and remember who we are. That's why we have the songs to remind us. That's why we have something that we do that feeds. And we got to lean into God, right? I was looking at an interview today about Frankie Beverly. And Frankie Beverly, I don't know if you know who Frankie Beverly is, but do you know Frankie Beverly? Y'all know Frankie Beverly?
I know the name, I don't know the music.
They don't know Frankie Beverly. Yeah, but Frankie Beverly is an African American kind of like Frankie Beverly is like you know what I'm laughing about? Y'all know me, but y'all don't know Frankie. I got when I mean
60s.
Huh?
Not back in the 60s.
No, Frankie came. He rose like in the late 70s into the 80s, but he is like he's loved like people love me. People love
Mhm.
Frankie. They love him like that. And he's really well known. Like when you go to a barbecue, they're gonna always in an African American family, they're playing Frankie Beverly.
Okay.
I mean, it's always, you will hear some music and you go like, oh yeah, I know this song. I'll go like, that's Frankie Beverly.
Okay.
So you want to check out Frankie. But I was listening to just a little bit of an interview that he was having today, and they were saying how cool, how wholesome his concerts are, because there's never any fighting. It's so beautiful. The spirit of the people is the spirit is good. And children can be there. Everybody can be there because his lyrics are great. They're beautiful. But somebody told me that they went to a concert and somebody else was on the bill and it wasn't all of that. But in this particular interview that he was having, he was talking about, when it's a Frankie Beverly concert, it's like the family comes out and it's like, it's like the B Hood.
Yeah.
Only, it's a huge thing. It's a huge place. And so, so the person was interviewing them saying, I think it's Roland Martin. I think he says, well, what is the secret? Why is it that it feels so good? And he said, what is your secret? And he said, and this is going to sound so familiar to both of you. He said, it's love.
Mm-hmm.
He said, it's love. Love. That they feel love. And then he said this unapologetically. He said, and I'm a believer.
Yeah.
When he said I'm a believer, I was listening. I was like, I'm listening. I'm a believer. And he said, I love Jesus. He says, because Jesus carries us all. And I'm listening to him. I was like, I could feel his love, man. And it was just so beautiful. And everybody in that audience could too. So it was just like a Frankie Beverly moment when he said it's about love. He's like, he said Jesus is love. And I was like, yeah. So if you haven't felt loved, we got to find our way back to God, because that's where, that goodness, that sharing, that caring for each other, it's not just a word, it's an action, right?
Love in action. Yes.
And love in action. It's a beingness.
I've become so much more mindful, Rickie, about what I listen to.
Yeah.
I don't, because it's real. I might be moving through a radio station or something when I'm traveling, but I will feel the gangster rap. I will feel the angst. I will feel I'm like, I don't want to hang out there. I'll feel it for a minute and move the energy. But
man, I can't do it. I went to a festival on Sunday and the music was so loud. Like the levels of sound has increased so much since the 70s. Like music didn't used to be that loud. Like you could be at a football game with people screaming and everything, but it wasn't too loud for your hearing. You'd hear the marching band. It wasn't too loud. You go to some places where they use electronic music and the music is so loud, it make your heart, you can feel it in your heart, and they had it so loud, but I was like, whoa. Yeah. Me and a great dancer named Sabella Grimes, we were there and we went, we were like, we got to move back. We were the old people. It's like, hey.
Rickie, can you speak to this? What is it about certain tonalities or chords or notes that go right to the heart and can bring about longing or pining, like really even in an instrumental song?
No, you're right. There are sequences, but it's not just the chord, it's what's happening on top of it. So it's the dance of Nina Simone's voice in I Loves You Porgy.
Yes.
It's not just I Loves You Porgy. Anybody can, somebody can play. Like, some musicians who play and they're just kind of like a hack. They just, they're just playing. They know the moves, but they don't have a
lot to it.
They don't have the love.
Yeah.
And because love gives you time. Yeah. Love gives us time.
Depth. Yes, and depth and texture.
Yeah. And it's like get what I'm saying. It gives us space. That's what I mean. Love gives us space. Might not give us time, but it gives us some space. I love you, Porgy. Don't let him take me. You know, when I heard that, I cried, man. I was a little girl because, you know, the way Nina Simone sang it, and it was my experience. And I just went in a corner and I cried. I was 6 years old. I might have been 7 when that song came out. I heard it on the radio, and my aunt was very much into jazz. So she played all kind of great jazz music and stuff. But when I heard that, I love you, it was a little lower. It was a little lower. I loves you, Porky. Don't let him take me. You know, but those chords would be part of
So let me ask
Pull yourself in me. Pull yourself into my heart. Whoa, whoa. Wonderful spirit. Right? Those I Love You Porky song chords would show up here.
Rickie,
One.
what as a little 6 or 7-year-old girl in Charlotte, North Carolina, or outside
Atlanta, Georgia by that time.
Oh, Atlanta, Georgia. So what did you make up about the fact that you were moved to tears? Do you remember what you thought?
No, I didn't make up anything. I just felt it.
And so did you go cry alone, or where did you?
Yeah, I cried alone.
So some part of you knew it might be a bigger thing than people welcome.
Well, I didn't even think about them. I didn't think about them at all. The way I was wired was not for me to even care about them. They weren't looking at me. They were into themselves. Okay. That music was playing and they were probably drinking and talking. I was with my aunt and she was had her life, you know. And but when that song came on, it was just me and that song. It was just me and Nina Simone and Gershwin, you know, and her making sense out of it. And I just went into a corner. I didn't know what was taking me. Nothing had ever done that to me. I'd never felt that. You know, it was like, and it brought me to tears. And I would feel it again when I heard Gypsy Woman by Curtis Mayfield. You know, when he say, nowhere in a caravan, around the campfire light, a lovely woman in motion, with hair as dark as night. When he hit this chord, her eyes were like that of a cat in the dark. I mean, those chords, you know, but the reasons why they moved me and they opened me was because they would be part of my work on down the line. It was already written that I would be a musician. It was already written. I didn't come here and I came here and unfolded into it. It was already written who we would be. You know, it might not have been written how we would arrive there, but I don't even know that. I don't know. I just know that when I started to write music, those chords that would open the heart were always in my song.
And that's the feedback you always get is like, people just moved to tears. Music and heart chakra opened up.
Yeah.
We used to have a Kleenex committee at Agape. And I was like, at first I was like, well, it makes sense. Everyone's crying and releasing.
Yeah, well, you know, those chords, and then you mix them with your journey, and then then when the world, when the spirit opened me up, you know, because now I was in a church place, I was in a community where people showed up to love, not just to dress up and look, but they showed up to love, you know, or at least the artist did, and when he started to sing, I got it. So the artists bring it. The artists have a very, very important function. You know, the artists in each of us, everybody on this thread is an artist, you know, whether you paint or, you know, you got that thing in you, like Miss Nancy and her cards. That's what she's doing
now.
But when you were a teacher, your art was teaching, you know.
On a homemade card, put your name and address in the deal. And if you're not comfortable, put it Facebook message me and she'll get you a card.
Oh, he putting you to work.
She's got cards. She's good. She's good.
I make them and send them. Make them and send them.
Hey, I put my name in there. I want you to send me a card.
Birthdays.
So they're looking at. Oh, they're going through Jitsi Woman. Pour yourself in me. Hear these through. Oh wow, Porgy. I love you, Porgy. Yeah, it's like, but I think that with all of us, any of us, there is something that there are things that happen in our youth as we're forming that will be a part of our work on down the road.
I can feel it.
Yes.
Mhm.
And mom was adopted in Edmonton, Alberta. In what year, Mom?
42.
42. And she was an only child.
Mhm.
And talk about from story to glory. She never owned that story of, and some people do, but a lot of people don't. But she never owned any part of that story other than she had parents that loved her.
Hey, that's what I'm saying.
I
Right?
ended up in the right place.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
You changed the script. You changed the trip.
Yeah. And they just nurtured her and let her be this random, different little person because she always has been really, how would you describe yourself, Mom? Effervescent.
Mhm. The kids in high school didn't like me. I laughed a lot and enjoyed myself.
And I'm sure you were cute as a button, as you still are.
Yeah.
And now they like me.
Oh, everybody liked you, Mom. They just didn't know what to do with her. They didn't know what to do with her. Like pretty much my sister and myself as well. It was like, who are you? Where did you come from? What is this? What is this?
Hey, y'all needed to be at Second Ward High School. We would have had some space for you.
You and I would have been in the principal's office a bunch.
Man, I was a good girl.
I was too good.
I would have pulled both of you into some pranks if we grew up together.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know how to, I was a good girl. There were a lot of things that that I won't talk about on this thread, but in terms of my heart, I was good. When they said, "Bless me, Father, for I have sinned," it's like it's been 2 weeks since my last confession, and these are my sins. I kissed Richie Brooks at my friend's house. We had a little party. And the priest said, "Is that all you did?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Okay, say 3 Hail Marys and 2 Our Fathers and sin no more."
Isn't it amazing from our childhoods? It's always first and last name. It's always first and last name. It's so funny.
Yeah, we know everybody's first and last name,
Yeah.
but it was my sister was a little risky, but we had fun. We were singers, and my mom gave us quite a bit of distance to explore the world, and I thank her for that. And maybe what I take away tonight with changing, that's from story to glory. When that story in my head changed that the world defined who I was. When that story changed, the whole world opened up. Or maybe the world opened up and my story changed. That I was touched deep inside, and it changed my whole perspective about life, about myself, about my talents, about my gifts, and what they were here for. And I was like, I want to sing. Man, I want to sing. I don't care. I don't care about that other stuff. Now I would still have to go back and visit it. You have those great aha moments. There's a great philosopher and minister and thinker, writer, Howard Thurman, who said, "Keep fresh before me the moments of my high resolve." Because the dust and the grit and of the journey get on you, and you kind of like you kind of fall back. But when it's with you, and I never lost that. When I did kind of want a little fame, sort of on over, I had angels around me, like my daughter, to remind me that, hey, you're a healer. Today, somebody called me a beautiful being. I don't see her in the thread, but she had an opportunity for me, and I didn't want to do it. And I said why I didn't want to do it, and I referred some other people. And she says, "But about building my platform and blah 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 blah." I said, Tiny church works for me. That's not that I'm accepting a smaller existence. Maybe I am. I don't know. But I love to love. I love what we get to do together. I love this conversation. I
The
love seeing
intimacy.
Miss Nancy and you and Quinn. I love Susan over here. Susan, come on, get in the thread. I just love being with everybody in the thread, and feeling what we're feeling right now. Now, the fact that 4 million aren't seeing it doesn't bother me. It really doesn't. Like, if there is something that's real that we're feeling, that is the point, that you cannot judge. I don't judge it by the numbers, even though I do like it when a lot of people look at the devotional.
It
I mean, I
ripples
like,
out, though. It ripples out. You know that, like, because
yeah,
we are each changed by being in this frequency together.
yeah,
It
yeah,
ripples out with everybody we interact with, and
yeah.
and the
But
intentionality of.
but that story of big numbers, fame, big, 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 when that shifted, then the glorious life could happen. What do you got to say, Sue? Sue, are you there?
Yeah.
Oh, Sue.
But you're muted, Sue. Let me unmute you. Maybe.
Well, I'm thinking. There's been a
Oh,
lot
oh.
said here tonight. When you said about the dust of the world being on us, what came to my mind right away was jump in. And I saw like a big lake, just jump in, take a bath, jump in and get it off and start again. And I think a lot of us are doing that. It's so simple. A little afraid, a little scary, but jump in. Because what's going to happen? I mean, you get clean, you come out, and then you say, I still like the old way better, so go do that.
So
Whatever fits you.
how are you jumping in the lake these days? What is it that you're doing that's really fresh for you, Sue?
Well, I'm getting back to my creative self. That kind of got set on the shelf, as you had said, when life comes and we're playing mother or daughter or whatever role we're playing, those things become your priority. And I think it's a little hard to get started again when you've shelved them for so long. And then it's coming back, and I'm feeling this with a lot of people. We're having shifts. We're trying to figure out, what do we want to do now that brings us joy? At least for me, that's it may sound a little selfish, but I want my heart to be filled all the time. All the time.
Well, you know what, Sue? You know what I know about that heart of yours that I've witnessed so far? That heart of yours gets so happy when it's giving. So you might say it's a little selfish. I want to be filled with joy, but you are a huge giver, and we have a good time giving together.
Yes, we do. We do. We do. And I mean, I love to love, and you write about it. You sing about it. I mean,
Yeah.
Quinn's talked about it. Why not? Why? I mean, love is just so much better than. I don't even want to say the other word because it doesn't exist in my vocabulary. It's
Well,
love. That's it.
Well, you said something that I want to sing to just a little bit here. Love is the essence of the spirit that is known by always giving. Love always sees the truth beyond the appearance that is showing. Love judges not, and love renews. Yes, love renews. Love is a healer. Oh, yes, it is. Love loves to love. Love loves to love. And we'll keep on being loved. And we'll keep on being loved. This is its holy way. So trust love. Trust love. Trust God that love is everywhere. We are here to be perfect givers of love and receivers of love.
love will have the final word. Yeah. We trust love.
I trust that we have had a good time tonight.
It's been special.
I want to thank you, Quinn, for joining us. Quinn Fontaine, his beautiful mother, Miss Nancy Cook. Thank you all for joining us tonight. And may, we remember those 3 things that the Buddha said. It's like, in the end, only 3 things matter: how much you loved, how gently you lived, and how gracefully you let go of things not meant for you. Yeah, because then you can embrace all that is. Hey, Ashe. God bless.
Love you guys.
Love y'all.
Too.
Oh.
Let our joy be so